update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
.3 Citi FM. You're welcome to the Tuesday's edition of the Citi Prime News. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Accra. Coming up this afternoon, NDC National Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia alleges cover-up in Interior Ministry report indicating a lack of evidence in 2024 electoral violence in Ewutu East constituency. Also in this edition of the Citi Prime News, Ghana to intensify intelligence collaboration with neighboring West African states following recent terror attack on Ghanaian tomato traders in Burkina Faso.
It's going to continue to work very hard with our sister neighboring countries to see how we can share intelligence and work together so that we'll be able to defeat these violent extremists.
Yep. Ghana Health Service attributes rise in casualties to late reporting following cerebrospinal meningitis outbreak in parts of northern Ghana.
We have to make sure that we are able to diagnose. We have to make sure that we are able to tell the people to avail themselves as quickly as possible to our health facilities.
And later, Bimbilla residents begin rebuilding efforts after last Tuesday's rainstorm destroyed over 1,000 homes.
Most of them, they don't have a place to stay. So what they could do is to work through thick and thin to ensure that the house is re-roofed.
All that and more coming up in this edition of the Citi Prime News, which is also live in the Western region on Beat 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are live on Green FM 95.9 in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, the Citi Prime News is live on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu and VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
I am Charles Osukumi. Let's get straight into the details, and we begin with the NDC National Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is alleging a cover-up, rejecting an Interior Ministry report which indicated that no evidence of violence was received in relation to a death recorded during the 2024 general elections in Ewutu East. Addressing party supporters in the constituency as part of his 5-day thank you tour of the Central Region, Johnson Asiedu Nketia says the report smacks of an agenda to shield perpetrators and undermines efforts to ensure accountability.
I'm told someone issued a statement that there is no evidence of the 2024 electoral violence here in Kaswa. We are no kids. If we all have accepted to rid our elections of violence, let us work towards it. Covering up for family and friends will no longer be tolerated. If we don't act, we will lose the trust of the people. We must punish electoral violence offenders regardless of who they are. I'm very serious about this matter and won't let it rest.
You heard the voice of Johnson Asiedu Nketia. He is the chairman of the ruling National Democratic Congress. Well, let's move on away from that and focus on recent incident in Burkina Faso, where some Ghanaian tomato traders suffered a terrorist attack. The government says it is collaborating with other West African countries in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism in the sub-region. The move follows the Saturday's terrorist attack on Ghanaian tomato traders in neighboring Burkina Faso, which resulted in 7 deaths and left 4 others injured. According to the Interior Minister Mubarak Muntaka Mohammed, while Ghana's mission in Ouagadougou is working to provide assistance to the survivors, the government is intensifying collaboration with other West African nations to combat violent extremism.
We are very clear on our mind that if Burkina Faso is unstable, Ghana will definitely be unstable. If Ghana is unstable, it will affect Cote d'Ivoire, it will affect Togo. So we believe that our destinies are tied together and we need to collectively fight this together. So it's going to continue to work very hard with our sister neighboring countries to see how we can share intel and work together so that we'll be able to defeat this violent extremism.
Yeah, but on this specific issue, maybe the expectation would be because our citizens have been harmed, the war has been brought to our doorstep, and in international law, we do know what is called preemptive defense. Could we possibly do that in this instant case and say we have been targeted, our citizens have been killed, and so we'll go after those people who have become or engage in terrorist activities, or we will still continue with the regional engagement even though we have been directly affected?
Well, more than that, you don't expect me to give you our security strategy on air.
That was the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak. He was speaking to Umaru Sandamadu on Eyewitness News here on Citi FM. Away from that, stakeholders within the cocoa value chain have welcomed the pay cuts imposed on staff of the Ghana Cocoa Board. Executives have accepted a 20% cut, while senior staff will take a 10% reduction for the remainder of the crop year. Speaking to Citi News, President of the Ghana National Association of Cocoa Farmers, Stevenson Anane said the decision is the right call.
We were expecting the thing to be 30% because looking at their salaries and action on this issue, we think it though is good, but we had thought about it before and expected the thing to be 30%. So now that they have come with 20%, we are okay with it because it shows a sign that they have taken our request into consideration. Unlike before, when you say something, they never respond or react to that. So we are okay with it.
That was the president of the Ghana National Association of Cocoa Farmers, Stevenson Anane Boateng. Still with matters relating to the cocoa industry, the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana has raised concerns over the vast amount of irrigable agricultural land in the country that remains unused. It warns that Ghana risks undermining its food security goals without urgent investment. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, disclosed that more than 1 million hectares of land suitable for irrigation have yet to be developed.
Have what it takes to produce to meet the demand of the Ghanaian people. But as you said, the right investment must be made. As a country, I think our total irrigable land right now that has been put into irrigation are about 230,000 hectares. Meanwhile, we have over 1 million hectares of agricultural land that are not under irrigation. Some of these things, I think, have been stated in the budget for this year. His Excellency, in his address, said clearly that they were going to support irrigation for us to deploy irrigation in critical zones. What we should be looking at is that irrigation and production does not happen in the opium.
Now, Anthony Morrison further urged the government to establish a national seed bank to guard against potential shortages in the event that donor countries cut seed supplies.
Is the engine of growth for production and agriculture. Just like you need your engine for a car, okay? So, or you need a battery for your car. As a country, it is time we set up the national seed bank so that all the seed breeders in the country, like Benjamin Kemeche, MMBC in Adakulu, Emos in the Kufridia, the WAC in the northern region, all these people have to breed seed and have to be kept. If you go to CSR, they also have a seed system in place where they are keeping certain seeds, but not on commercial level. So assuming that the countries we import our seeds from India, South Africa, and South Korea, and all these places for tomatoes, are no longer sending us.
That was the voice of the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison. From agriculture to energy, the government has lauded Ghana's bilateral relations with China, highlighting the importance of the Sunan Asogli Thermal Power Plant to the national grid. Speaking at the 2026 Sunan Asogli Chinese New Year celebration in Pong, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman acknowledged the company's agreement to grant concessions to ensure a sustainable power supply and offer discounts on legacy arrears. Professor Opoku-Agyeman says the measure has helped ease pressure on the energy sector.
The plant supplies a substantial share of electricity to the national grid and power purchased by ECG, contributing to system reliability. During periods of stress in the power sector, it was Sunan Asogli who agreed to concessions, including waivers to idle capacity charges and discounts on legacy arrears, which helped to ease short-term pressures on the sector.
Now, the Vice President further stated that Ghana remains committed to strengthening ties with China to ensure mutual benefits for both countries.
Partnerships that endure are built on clarity of purpose, mutual accountability, and the willingness to learn from what has worked and what has not. Ghana approaches the future determined to deepen our cooperation that is transparent, fair, and aligned with our development priorities, particularly as we work to strengthen the systems that support industrial growth, energy security, and long-term economic resilience.
Vice President of the Republic, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Now, from energy to education, the Ministry for the sector has directed the Ghana Education Service to fast-track investigations into the recent attack on teachers at West Africa Secondary School. The incident, which occurred on Friday, February 13, reportedly involved a student who mobilized a group of individuals to storm the school and assault some teachers. In an interview with Accra-based 3FM, the press secretary to the Minister of Education, Hasmin Mohammed, assured the public that the perpetrators will face justice once identified.
Campuses, as you see them, are citadels for molding characters. Sure. And if they are citadels for molding characters, we cannot allow few truant ones to displace or destabilize students who want to pursue their academic credentials to the higher level. So it is something that we are the Ministry of Education. We are not sleeping. The minister has directed the Ghana Education Service to crack the whip as far as assault on teachers are concerned, and that is why you are seeing the police, you are seeing students being punished, and then teachers too who also misconduct themselves are being punished, and it is something we will not tolerate it. Like I told you,
You heard the voice of Hasmin Mohammed. He is the press secretary to the Minister of Education. Meanwhile, the Ghana Education Service in the Volta region has commenced investigations into the alleged pilfering of food items meant for students of Wovenu Senior High School at Tajevu. This follows the arrest of 3 persons, including an assistant matron of the school and a police officer, over the alleged diversion of food supplies. Speaking to Citi News, the Volta Regional Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Education Service, Forgive Aguha, confirmed that preliminary checks have uncovered some criminal irregularities.
The management of the Volta Regional Education Directorate called for a preliminary report that was submitted the following day, and based on the report, it has been established that there has been some element of criminality, and so the Ghana Police Service, who is the law enforcement agency responsible for handling of criminal issues, has taken up the criminal aspect of it, and as a directorate, the management has interdicted the assistant matron and subsequently constituted an investigative committee to delve into the issue, come up with a report, in which, of course, some recommendations will be made for the attention of management. So that is what the management of the Voter Regional Education Directorate has done so far. The committee has earnestly started their investigative activity. They have only 1 week to submit their report, after which action will be taken based on the recommendation made by the committee. Definitely, the terms of reference is carved in such a way that any other related person or any other person who has played any role in one way or the other with respect to this issue and that investigation will be uncovered, and we'll take it from there.
You had the Voter Regional Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Education Service, Forgive Agoha. You are still listening to the Citi Prime News here on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from our studios here in Accra. In the northern region, the news is live on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, we're on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu and Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. In the Upper West region, we're on Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM also in Jirapa. Still ahead in the bulletin, Ghana Health Service attributes rise in casualties to late reporting following cerebrospinal meningitis outbreak in parts of northern Ghana. We have details in a bit. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM across all social media platforms for updates, and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM.
And it's proudly sponsored by Holland Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, Didi Shito, Goyle, Mini-Me Achumo, and Admi Granite Paste. And it's supported by Nanas Rice.
Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra and heard around the world on citinewsroom.com. Let's now focus on health. The Ghana Health Service has attributed recent deaths in northern Ghana to a meningitis outbreak, citing late reporting to health facilities as a key factor. So far, 5 people have succumbed to the illness. Health officials warn that patients are arriving at hospitals only after the disease has reached a critical and often untreatable stage. Currently, 57 suspected cases have been recorded across the meningitis belt. The Director General, Samuel Kaba Akoria, says the service is intensifying public education to help reduce the number of cases.
We think that we should be more proactive than ever. So that is why we are here, to make sure that we are really prepared so we don't lose more lives. We have to make sure that we are able to diagnose. We have to make sure that we are able to tell the people to avail themselves as quickly as possible to our health facilities. And that financial situation should not be a barrier because His Excellency, the President, through the Minister, has requested, and we have distributed the necessary medications needed to treat disease of this nature. And so we distributed to all the meningitis belt, and the hospitals are well equipped to take care of any case. Over the years, we've noticed that anytime we start with the meningitis, what happens is those who die is simply because they get to the hospital late. But the majority of the people survive, and we want the majority, or we want no death.
You heard the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoria. Well, still in northern Ghana, residents of Bimbilla have begun rebuilding parts of their homes after last Tuesday's rainstorm destroyed more than 1,000 houses. The situation has forced many families to seek temporary shelter with relatives and friends. In an interview with Citi News, the Assembly member for the Palga electoral area, Al-Hassan Adam Nuhu, appealed to government agencies, benevolence groups and individuals to provide urgent support to the affected residents.
You know, it happened, and most of them, they don't have a place to stay. So what they could do is to work through thick and thin to ensure that the house is re-roofed. If even it demands going for loan and other people to assist them do the roofing. So as I speak now, people are still working on their houses, and then whilst they are waiting for any assistance from the central government or any other institution. So work is ongoing. People are working on their structures. Others who have no alternatives are still hoping on NADMO and on other people to come to their aid. You know, Muslims is a Muslim-dominated community, and for that matter, those who are just closer to each other, if the incident happens to affect your house, the rest who are closer will assist you by accommodating you for the time being.
Well, that was the Assembly member for Palga electoral area in Bimbilla, Al-Hassan Adam Nuhu. Now to some NPP politics. A member of the NPP's National Communications team, Richard Jemfi, has urged the family of 29-year-old Charles Emisa to seek legal redress following his death. Charles Emisa reportedly died after a hit-and-run incident. He was allegedly turned away from the police hospital, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and the Kolebu Teaching Hospital due to unavailability of beds. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily show, Jemfi strongly condemned this situation.
I think one of the cultural practices in Ghana that we must frown upon is that when a person dies, we say, oh, God has called him. No, we shouldn't take that as an answer.
And that's why for me, I'm calling that the families should sue.
Of course, and I agree with you. God will call such a young man, 29-year-old, hit by a car, and this person could be sustained. And you say, we have no bed, so this gentleman died. And you are saying that his time was due, and so God called him. My argument is that, number one, I agree with you that the hospital should be sealed, and there should be serious reforms.
Richard Jemfi is a member of the NPP's National Communications team. Let's now head to the Bono region. The Regional Police Command has recovered 5 assorted firearms following a shootout with suspected armed robbers in the region. At a press briefing in Sunyani, the Bono Regional Police Commander, DCOP Joshua Copson, described the developments as a major breakthrough in the ongoing fight against armed robbery and organized criminal activities in the region. According to him, intelligence gathered last week indicated that a robbery gang had planned to attack traders traveling along the Doma-Gonokrom highway. Surveillance teams were subsequently deployed to the area to thwart the planned attack.
The Bono Regional Police Command, in a sustained intelligence-led operation, has arrested and put before the court several members of criminal gangs who have been involved in a series of robberies and other crime-related activities within the region and its surrounding communities. The suspects arrested in the course of the operations are Johnson and Ponsan Kwame Diowu, an ex-convict, age 47 years. Shadrach Owusu, also known as Shak, age 25 years. Kwafu Samuel, an ex-convict, age 30 years. Latif Mustafa, also known as Starboy, age 28 years. Mosby Owusu, age 20 years. Kofi Idrissa, age 45 years. Kwabena Agon Azubila Akolote, age 18 years. And Baba Kumi Foster, age 35 years.
That was the Bono Regional Police Commander, DCOP Joshua Copson. Well, President Mahama has just spoken about the unfortunate deadly terrorist attack that happened against some Ghanaian tomato traders in Burkina Faso. The president has described the incident as regrettable and describing the incident as a worrying sign of growing insecurity in the sub-region. 7 Ghanaian tomato traders were killed in a terrorist attack in northern Burkina Faso last Saturday. Speaking at the Ghana Tree Crop Investment Summit in Accra this afternoon, the president noted that the attack highlights the dangers facing cross-border trade and the broader threat that instability poses to regional integration.
We live in a dangerous sub-region, and a recent incident has shown what the threat of instability and insecurity is to our regional integration and trade. As has been the tradition over decades, we trade amongst ourselves, and so agricultural products from Ghana are traded into Burkina Faso, and agricultural products from Burkina Faso, Niger, onions, tomatoes are traded into Ghana. Recently, some traders from Ghana went to Burkina Faso to buy tomatoes, and they were ambushed in a village where they were transacting, and armed insurgents, terrorist armed groups attacked, and unfortunately we lost a number of our compatriots. Happily, there are few survivors, and so the Ghana Army is arranging to medevac them from Burkina Faso, so that those who are injured can continue to receive treatment here in Ghana. And so on behalf of government and people, we express our condolences to the families of those who were either killed or have been injured.
You heard President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. Away from that, the Member of Parliament for Abetifi, Dr. Brianna Champon, has urged his supporters to redirect their efforts towards the New Patriotic Party's campaign following the party's presidential primaries. Addressing his media team as he formally wrapped up his 2028 bid, he said the focus must now shift to uniting behind the party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Dr. Champon called for cohesion as the NPP prepares to challenge the National Democratic Congress in 2028.
With a few human capital that we had present on social media, we were able to push our message down. We were able to exact 36,000 people to vote for us. We enter into a second phase of our campaign where we turn our attention to our party and our flag bearer. And it is important that we all come back to the bigger party table and beginning to turn now our arsenals on the NDC. And if we're able to stay the course and stay positive about our political party and our candidate, I think we can make great strides in 2028 and take over the affairs of this country.
Dr. Brianna Champon is the Member of Parliament for Abetifi and an NPP presidential hopeful in the just ended NPP presidential primary. Let's move away from NPP. The Ghana Airports Company Limited has begun repair and expansion works on the runway at Kotoka International Airport in Accra. The project will widen the runway from 60 to 75 meters. Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, Yvonne Nanefrio-Paris, says the upgrade is aimed at meeting growing passenger numbers and rising air traffic demand.
The reason for the repair and the expansion from 60 meters to 75 meters when it is completed, it will be a wider runway than what we currently have. Currently we have 60 meters wide. When the runway overlay is completed, it will be at 75 meters wide. And the reason for this is we have a growing populace. We also have growing air traffic. The aircrafts that are coming in are more. The passengers that are coming in are more. So we are expanding for future.
You heard Yvonne Nanefrio Paris. She's the managing director for the Ghana Airports Company Limited. Well, that'll be all for this edition of the City Prime News, which has been live from our studios here in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukumi. Thank you for listening.
City News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.